The entitlement among these employees to literally have someone like Elon Musk come in, raise their stocks, literally adding job security for them, and they rip on him nonstop. I mean, across the board over at Apple,
well,
like you said,
this is what really gets me is that we've had to deal with this in a lot of different stuff when we're talking about coming back to work. And everybody has called the time during COVID the Great Resignation or the Great Walkaway or the Great Reset or all these other things. Because...
no. That last one hasn't happened yet, but go on.
So a lot of people have left their jobs.
Yep.
A lot of people have demanded higher salaries.
Yep.
Nobody's going back into these situations and saying, "Okay, I'm gonna settle for the salary that I get."
Right.
The employers seem to have lost a lot of their power, right?
Yeah. Well, they fear the mob.
And here's the thing, though. It works from the ground up and then from the top back down.
Yep.
So when you have this happen and there seems to be this shift in mentality around working at the office. Well, I can work from home.
Shift in culture.
Yes.
Yeah.
But now that we have seen our economy start to tank, the inversion of the curve and the supply chain issues, now we're starting to see top-up executives say, hey, guess what? You working at home isn't working for us. We need to see more productivity. We need to see certain things raised. We need you to come back into the office. So then this Fortune article comes out yesterday or day before, and Do
you want to take the lead on this one, or do you want me to?
Yeah, I just started laughing when I saw
go
it
ahead.
because it reminded me
I've got
of
it open
everything.
here.
So frustrated Apple employees reject CEO Tim Cook's hybrid plan by threatening to quit.
Well done.
So again, another company that is a very woke company, and Apple has done some amazing things for their employees before
Steve Jobs died, because I would agree with that. But since Steve Jobs, I'm gonna have to say no. But go on.
No, Apple was one of those companies that
Well, maybe I'm thinking of innovation. You're talking about
before it
employees.
was required. They had the stipulation that if you had a live-in partner, you could extend your employee benefits to that person.
Oh yeah, they've been very progressive. I'll give them that.
And bravo, Apple.
Extended leave for
exactly.
not just the mothers, but paternity leave too.
Yes.
Yeah, they've been at the forefront of that.
And Darden did the same thing when I worked for them. And there's a lot of companies that had that mentality, which shifted our culture in that direction. Because everybody wanted to work for those places. But now they've been taken advantage of.
Yes. Go ahead and read the first part of this. This is so crazy.
So it says 1 day a week. That's what Apple is demanding right now on its return to work to the office. That's way too much for some employees. I don't give a single F about ever coming back to work here, a self-described Apple employee posted on a message board called Blind. Once April 11th comes around and brings this new rule into effect, they added, they will be resigning from their job.
1 day a week.
Yes, this worker was not alone. The New York Post was first to report on the message board citing anonymous messages from other employees. I already know I won't be able to deal with the commute.
Hey, get out of here, Ed.
Wow. Apple's plan is to introduce a hybrid schedule, adding days in office after April 11th, and forcing 2 in-office days weekly on May 2nd and 3 days by May 23rd.
They've been giving them a month and a half to get in line.
to 3 days.
God, to 3 days.
So to work yourself up to getting to work 3 days a week.
Wow.
So they're really giving you enough of a heads up. Hey, 1 day a week, we need you to come in. And then at the beginning of next month, 2 days a month, we need you to come in. And by the end of the month, we're just going to need you 3 days out of the week to come into the office.
I mean, this is beyond baby steps at this point. This is literally like coddling them and being like, oh, they're little buddy.
Yes.
Slowly but surely, we'll get you back in.
What their piecemeal plan didn't account for was the employees removing themselves from the equation entirely. A worker reacted to messages about resigning with a laughing emoji and said, I'm going to do the same. Another employee rallied, heck yeah, my man, let's do this.
FRTO.
Yeah.
Return to offices, RTO.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my God. One employee said they sent in resignation as soon as they came home. And then go ahead and start that next one about Tim Cook.
When discussing the return to office process, Apple CEO Tim Cook mostly addressed those who were excitedly awaiting the end of remote work. For many of you, I know that returning to the office represents a long-awaited milestone and a positive sign that we can engage more fully with the colleagues who play such an important role in our lives. For others, it may also be an unsettling change, said Cook. And here's the thing. So you have these members of society who have now just decided that your work environment doesn't work for them. And that as the employer, you have to take their direction.
Yes, the entitlement is real.
I'm sorry, but when you own a company, and when you run your company based on the fact this is what the company needs, not what we're going to virtue signal to the world that we stand for, but this is what the company needs. I need you to be productive. I need you to be in the office. I need you to hit these deadlines. Well, that's not going to work for me.
Maybe no. Man up and go to work.
And it's really funny because people will stand up and say that the employees have the right to do this and say, no, we're not going to hit, we're not going to hit your requirements.
Workers of the world unite. All right.
But at the same time, we're allowing our president to say how many miles per gallon the car should be required to hit.
Well, the guy's allowed to say whatever he wants.
Well, and that's the thing is we have a culture war within each workplace.
Yes.
And the ones who actually have employees who are going to come to work, who are going to drive innovation, are the ones that are going to survive. Yep. And the companies who have gone so woke and so ridiculous and allowed the inmates to run the asylum are going to go broke.
The endless pampering that they have done with these people, the endless coddling is coming back to bite them so hard. And it really is a beautiful thing to see. I mean, when you sent me this article, I had to have you. I'm happy that we had you do it because I don't think I could have made it. I don't think I could have made it. So
there's an amazing shift in mentality when you have someone who's willing to stand up for the company.
Yes.
I had an issue once with an employee who did not want to do one of the assigned tasks. And when they were hired, it lists out in the job description what they're required to do. You decide to come work for my company. These are the things that I'm going to require you to do. Well, this employee looked at me and said, that's below my pay grade. And I, as the manager, looked at them and said, here is the handbook with the description of the jobs that you agreed to. Here's your signature on the back of it. Yep. Either you're doing this or you're telling me that you're quitting your job.
Yep, that sounds like a resignation to me.
It's completely within their bounds as an at-will employer, as an at-will employee, to walk away from that situation and say, no, I don't want to do that job. By all means, absolutely go do that.
Yeah.
You do not get to tell me that you're going to collect the salary for doing that job, but not do the job requirements.
Yes. Yes.
And more people need to run their businesses with that mentality.
I was going to say, you are a minority in this because for some reason, the bosses have become very, very afraid of the opinion of the underlings.
But here's the thing. When you're a manager and you stand up for that, you build your culture around that mentality. And then everybody who comes to work for you understands what you're asking of them.
You would think.
You're not asking them to go outside of the job description that you talked about when they first got hired in.
Right.
Because that's not ethical to hire someone in and bait and switch them and tell them that this is their job. Yeah. But when I lay down what your job is and you sign acknowledging that you understand it and then tell me that you're not going to do it, I'm not going to pay you to do it. And that's where the disconnect is.